Howdy do once again, everybody. This is Bill with the Nintendo Super Power Club Challenge channel. Today we've got a fairly unknown game, but a game that comes to us from a very classic and well-known franchise. That is StarTropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. This is card number 115 in the series. Alright, so very briefly, most people have played the original StarTropics, but not many of them have played the sequel, Zoda's Revenge. And that's mainly because it came out very late in the NES's lifespan. It came out in February of 1994. That being said, it's still a very good game. If you enjoyed the original, you'll love the second one. It picks up right where the first one left off. The action and adventure are basically the same kind of items, same type of enemies. This is a very good and challenging good gem to pick up and play if you've never done it before. Alright, let's jump into the challenge here and let's see why this one is very, very tough. Okay, you want to talk tough challenges? This one ranks right up there with Gargoyle's Quest 2 in my honest opinion. What they want us to do is complete chapter, okay, now it says chapter 7, but it's actually chapter 8, so that's a typo. Complete chapter 8, King Arthur's England, without taking any damage. Alright, so if you ever played StarTropics 1 or 2, you know that the game, especially the later levels, are no joke. They're no walk in the park. There are some very tricky spots which require a lot of skill and dexterity to get through without dying, let alone taking a hit. And Chapter 8, King Arthur's England, is easily one of the toughest levels in the entire game. You have to know the level inside and out, play it multiple times to know what's coming, what to expect, and how many shots you have to fire to kill a specific enemy. A huge shout out to YouTube user Master Knight DH for laying the groundwork to show how to get through this dungeon here. The second half took me well over 100 attempts because the timing of the shots and the jumps need to be almost immaculate and perfect to finish this dungeon. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, because I certainly didn't. Okay, so here we are in section 8-1, right after the dialogue sequence in King Arthur's England. We start out with two different weapons. We have the sword and then we have a psychic shockwave, which has not been fully powered up yet, but we'll get to that a little bit later. In general, I tend to go with the shockwave because it has better range, although at this point it doesn't really matter, they're both about the same. So that first section you saw, I fell through the floor, and you have to be very careful that you do so, and you kill the final enemy while you're standing at the top of the screen, so that you can continue on to the next section here. Make sure that if there's any hidden tiles, try to step on them, you never know what's going to come out. If there's health containers and power-ups, obviously it doesn't really matter for this run because you can't take any hits. These blobs are very easy and they're a sign of things to come. Alright, as you can see there's a hidden switch, it doesn't really matter at this point. These guys, the zombies, when you kill them, they don't fully die, they just collapse, and if you touch them, they will still hurt you, so keep that in mind for this next section here. We're going to run around this guy, watch out for the explosions. Be very careful in how we set this up here. Get the psychic shockwave because it has longer range. Take him out, then get the second one. Jump ahead. This section is going to be tricky. You got to kill him while you're standing up near the top, and watch out for the mines that he lays because they will explode. You got lucky there. Don't fall on the spikes. Walk straight ahead. All right, now we got two silver knights here. These things take 9 hits apiece, and the reason I say that is because you will be wanting to remember that later in this run. This section might not be tough now, but it will get tricky later, I promise. Watch out for the projectiles they shoot. Moving on to the next round. Alright, now we got some conveyor belts here. Whatever you step on, whatever direction you're landing on is the direction you're going to go. Alright, these next three have a very specific order. You're going to go up and then down to avoid the spikes. Next section is down then up. Third and final one is also down and then straight. Jump across the spikes and you're going to come across the first boss, which is the horse. Just keep shooting, shooting, shooting. The conveyor belt's going to continue to make you move. You can choose to jump if you wish, but just be careful to jump over the sword shots. Other than that, this boss is not too difficult. Just jump and fire, jump and shoot, jump and shoot. A little bit of patience, you'll be through to the next section. Alright, so Merlin just gave us the Ultra Psychic Shockwave, which is the weapon we're going to be using for basically the rest of this challenge here, just because of its range. But before we get to that point, in the second half of this level, we're just going to pause to talk about a couple things in this upcoming section here. And a couple things you need to know about regarding enemies and trap hazards coming up. So we'll do a quick pause. Okay, so this is the section you're about to see that took me over 100 attempts. No joke. It's a lot of the same enemies, but there are pit hazards and sometimes unavoidable traps that are really boiling down to luck. Alright, here we go. So you got the same two weapon types. You got the sword and the psychic shockwave, except now Merlin upgraded it so it goes all the way across the screen. So make use of it. It's going to make your life a lot easier on this second challenge, but by no means a guarantee. These rock monsters, they take 5 shots. Make sure after you get the 5th shot in to jump up so you immediately don't get killed. We're going to move into this next room here, and we've got these very big green blobs. They take 7 shots apiece. When you blow them up, they will explode into 3 smaller blobs that move in diagonal directions. Also take 2 shots, blow them up. This next room here has a little Triceratops, dinosaur, whatever you want to call it. They take 13 shots. And do not get in their direct line of sight because they will fire a Birdo type egg at you, which is going to kill you. Well, not kill you, but it'll certainly hurt you and ruin your run. Alright, next room. Normally the shockwave took about 9 hits to kill these knights. Now it only takes 7, so thank goodness for small favors, right? As soon as you get in there, fire as quickly as you can to hopefully take one of them out, if not 2. Obviously, if you see a projectile coming, jump out of the way. It's more important to stay alive than it is to kill. So be very careful and cautious, take out the enemies, and then we will move into this next room here. Gets a little bit easier here, but not much. So you got some blue blobs, move much slower than the green ones. They take 2 shots apiece. Go ahead, take them out. Move into this next room. Speaking of the green blobs, we're going to have 2 big ones here. 7 shots apiece, take them out. They explode into 3 smaller ones. If you don't kill the big ones fast enough, they will shoot small projectiles at you that you have to jump. So, although it seems easy enough, if you are not careful and cautious, you can very easily lose here. I had to restart a couple of times because I took this room for granted. We're through. Moving into the next room, this can get kind of tricky. You got 3 exploding rock monsters. Take them out, be careful not to step on the spikes accidentally. And then move into this next room that you're about to see here. Alright, this room. I cannot tell you how many times I had to reset because it is so precise where the jump is. You have to jump exactly over that. If you're even a pixel off, you're going to get hit or fall in the pit and then you're all done. So you come back. These are very precise platforms. You have to jump on them quickly, get off quickly, or you will fall in the pit. Again, very, very precise. Cannot explain enough just how precise you have to be here. Alright, we move into the next room. We have a small silver knight and then we have a gold knight. Now the only difference here with the gold knight is that there's a shield, which means you cannot hit it from the front. You have to get it from the side or the back. Both knights take 7 shots apiece with the psychic shockwave. So just keep firing away and eventually with any luck you'll get through. This next room here has a couple of rolling metal balls. You have to shoot them when they're on the right hand side because the left hand side of this map is what's important. Remember to only shoot it 1 time. If you shoot it multiple times, you will set it off and have it come after you again. Alright, next room. To pay very close attention to where I jump here. That is a trigger for this switch that opens the door. Be careful of the mines. Don't get killed by them, obviously. Head to the right. You're going to have 2 Triceratops dinosaurs. Again, 13 shots apiece. You don't necessarily have to kill them, although it will make your life easier here. So I recommend taking them out if you can. Be careful not to get killed by the Birdo projectiles. Once you pick up that question mark in the middle, it's going to open your way to the next door. We're going to go ahead and kill these dinosaurs anyway, just so you can see what happens. It's going to open a pathway to the right. Don't go that way. It leads to a health power-up, which is pointless because you can't get hit here. This room is a complete nightmare. You have to jump up onto the grassy knoll, and you have to shoot them from up top of here. If you try to shoot them from down there, the skulls may fire projectiles which cannot be jumped over because you are down low, so get up on top of that before you kill the skulls. In here you have 2 golden knights. Again, they're just like the silver knights, but you can't hit them from the front. So just get in a safe position where you won't get shot by projectiles. Keep firing away until you hopefully hit these things. And we'll move into the next room. This next room here is going to have 4 to 5 exploding rock monsters. So again, they take 5 shots apiece. Be very, very careful. Don't necessarily try to take them all out in one shot. Take a few pot shots here and there and then run away to a safe distance to where you can safely escape the explosions. Maybe 2 or 3. If you feel safe, take a whole one out. Got a couple rooms left before the boss. Alright, this next room here, 2 Silver Knights and a Gold Knight. It's getting a little bit tougher, right? So again, just do what you normally do here in these sections. Get to a safe place. Take out the Silver Knights quickly because you can hit them from any position. Then take all your time in the world to focus on the Gold Knight here. Hit him from a safe distance. And that's going to take you into the penultimate room right before the boss. Here we go. We have 2 more big green blobs. Take them out as quick as you can. 7 hits apiece. Be careful of those projectiles if you're too slow to take it out. I can tell you that once I would get into this room right before the boss, my heart would start beating extremely fast because I knew I was so close to finishing this and I had failed so many times. I was so determined to get through this, so close. Alright, we got 4 more green blobs. We're going to take them out as quickly and safely as we can, and then we're going to go into this boss fight, which is easily one of, if not the toughest boss fights in the entire game. The big flying red dragon. Alright, we take out the last one. Catch your breath. Choose which weapon you want. Obviously, you want the shockwave, and here we go. Alright, big red dragon. First thing you notice immediately, he will shoot fire in 3 different directions. And, by the way, the only way you can hit him is by jumping. If you just normally shoot, you're not going to hit him. It'll hit the body for no damage, so you have to constantly jump and shoot. Also, you probably noticed in the back, there are spikes coming. This is a timed challenge. You must do this as quickly and safely as you can, because if you don't, the spikes will eventually take you out, and you will lose. Be very, very careful. Do not stand in the dragon's direct line of sight. Just stand slightly off to the left or right so you can constantly hit him. When he goes back to fly like this, stand on the far right and then circle around to the bottom and then left, jumping over the fireballs where you have to. Again, be extremely safe. Do not stand directly in his line of sight. You do not want to fail the challenge this late into the game. I don't know exactly how many hit points he has, but clearly it's quite a few. And you're going to have to do this cycle where you avoid the fireballs at least 3 times, I would say. That's number 2 for me. And here we go. Just keep on firing. It's more of the same. As long as you stand slightly off center, I'd probably stand off to the right here too, because it's safest to stand on the right to continue or start this cycle rather, so you can jump over the fireball safely. If you start left, it's probably not going to end very well for you. Woo! And there we go. We took out this boss, and as you can see, I'm going ballistic. I'm so happy to finish this battle. So happy to have this challenge out of the way. StarTropics 2, challenge number 115 is mercifully in the books. We are done with this game, and I am just going to do a little victory dance, victory shots, and have some fun. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Damn right, we've done it.